This is the creepy moment this little boy was caught drawing a man hanging from his bedroom ceiling. At first, his father thought that this was just an imaginary friend, but then he realized that there was more going on here.
Elliot, what are you doing? Oh, that's cool. What's that? What's that in the corner?
The man hanging.
Oh, why have you drawn that?
Because the man is hanging up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does he do?
And he annoys me at the night.
Why?
Because he does this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm not allowed to tell anybody.
Okay.
This boy, whose name's Elliot, is seen in another video talking to himself, and when his father walks in, he's pointing towards the corner and saying, "Stop it."
Stop it.
Elliot, what are you doing?
Hanging.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
He's crying. And I keep saying stop it.
Is he crying?
Now this is when things get creepy. The father decides to put a camera inside Elliot's room, and only 20 minutes after he tries to fall asleep, he catches this.
Disturbing facts that may ruin your day. Your brain blocks out the feeling of your organs moving around inside of your body at all times. After giving birth, some women can feel their organs sliding back into place as their uterus shrinks. Human babies are helpless at birth compared to other animals because our brains grow so big. We evolved to give birth earlier in our development so that we don't severely hurt the mother while coming out of the birth canal. Your nose is always in your line of sight. Your brain just chooses to ignore it. You could look at any object and your tongue already knows what it feels like to lick it. You could have 2/3 of your liver removed and it would regenerate itself. If your immune system found out that you had eyes, it would attack them and you would go blind. No matter how hard you strain, you're only using about 60% of your full strength. If your brain didn't stop you, you could tear your muscles and break your bones just trying to throw a ball as hard as you can. When you hear about mothers lifting cars, this is thought to be the fight or flight adrenaline temporarily overriding that limit. If you have surgery and they have to take out your intestines, they put them in a bowl next to them while they work. Your intestines wiggle around in the bowl like snakes the whole time.
Disturbing facts you will regret learning about, part 5. Did you know that pool drains are actually powerful enough to suck your organs out of your body? So next time, be careful. You know, when your organs are taken out during a surgery, they don't actually put them back carefully. They just grab your organs, put them back in, and your body does the rest. Also, if you're gonna be murdered, you're gonna be murdered by someone you trust. Also, be careful who you trust.
Interesting facts about the human body. PT.2. Lactose intolerance is a normal gene. Being able to drink milk is a mutation. You mostly breathe out of one nostril at a time, and the dominant nostril switches every hour or so. When you are exhausted and go to bed, your body shuts down faster than usual. That jerk that your body makes is a signal from the brain to make sure you are not dying.
This is the most terrifying bathroom you'll ever see. The bathroom is located in a secret underground bar in Tokyo, and this horrifying face watches you on the toilet. Now, the inside of the toilet has special pressure sensors, so the more you do, the closer it gets to you. It will sing to you as it slowly moves closer until eventually it violates you. Watch this.
Oh no, 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 silly, to dry it. But it exploded, and they were both found dead.
Apparently we are all alone in the universe. Okay, so there is something called the rare earth hypothesis theory that argues planets with complex life, like Earth, are extremely rare, and that intelligent extraterrestrial life is extremely improbable. In simple terms, it means we are one of a kind. And scientists believe if there were other life forms on different planets, they either would have drove themselves to extinction or a catastrophic event extinct them. Because they believe if there was other life out there, then we would have found it by now. So the rare Earth hypothesis claims we are just all alone in this huge universe and that life on Earth is the luckiest thing that ever happened in history.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Hundreds of thousands of bodies have either been lost or buried at sea, so every time you swim in the ocean, you're basically bathing in a graveyard. Chainsaws were originally invented for childbirth. Female mummies in ancient Egypt were always decomposed more than the male ones, and this is because the male bodies were embalmed a lot sooner while the female bodies were kept at the family home until they started to decompose a little bit. And this was to prevent people from having sex with the dead female bodies. Vlad the Impaler was called this because he would place his enemies ass first on pointed poles that would slowly skewer them to death. Fatal familial insomnia is a disease where a person literally cannot go to sleep no matter what they take or what they do. The symptoms get progressively worse until they die of exhaustion. And for the last one, you might want to look up who invented blow-up dolls. There was a woman in the 18th century named Mary Toft who shoved dead rabbits inside of her and later acted as if she gave birth to them. And the doctors actually believed her until one of them discovered corn inside one of the rabbit's stomachs.
What's this?
Yeah, it's real. It's called a potu bird and found in Central and South America. Now question, which looks more like a rough draft? The potu or its Muppet in the face cousin the frogmouth? Whatever the answer is, it's not by much. The potu's insecticide with wings that mostly eats bugs and beetles. They're nocturnal, meaning this flying acid trip tweet is only active in the dark like all paralysis demons. During the day they camouflage by cosplaying as a tree stump. Both of these pictures has a bird in it. Now here's the real with these birds. Potus have giant eyes that can capture even the faintest light as they go grocery shopping in the dark. But their eyelids also have tiny slits that help them sense movement, which is why this perked out pigeon can actually see you with its eyes closed. And even though I said they eat mostly bugs, some have been found with small birds caged in their stomach. But that's not the weirdest thing about them, because I didn't show you what they sound like. On a wholesome note, the potu's monogamous and often mate for life. And if this crack canary can find love, there's hope for the rest of us. The more you know.
The oldest things in the world. Oldest president to be elected, Joe Biden, 78 years old. Oldest person to ever live, Janine Calment, 116 years old. Oldest tree, Great Basin, Bristol Cone Pine, 5,000 years old. Oldest pub in England, Old Ferry Boat Inn, 793 AD. Oldest country, San Marino, 301 BCE.
That pain you feel from a sunburn is your skin cells committing suicide before they mutate into cancer. It's completely possible to become allergic to yourself. Your brain is the only thing keeping you from feeling your organs.
People who have married objects. Erica Eiffel married the Eiffel Tower. Aaron Chervenak married his smartphone. Pascal Selig married her duvet. Amy Wolf married a roller coaster. Mairivuni Rocha Moraes married a doll. Richard Torres married a tree.
Ionized yeast presents Light Out.
Things you never knew the purpose of. These small buttons on jeans are called rivets, and they're placed in the places with the most wear and tear to prevent your pants from ripping. The tiny pocket on jeans is supposed to hold a pocket watch. It's a design from the 1800s. The bottom line of a solo cup is roughly about one shot. The second line is for wine, And the third line is for beer. The neck shape of a beer bottle is designed to incentivize you to hold it from there so that you don't warm your beer before you finish it. These static wicks on an airplane exist in order to reduce the chances of the plane being struck by lightning. The arrow on the gas gauge for your car points in the direction of which side the gas tank is on your car. These orange balls only exist to help make power lines more visible to low-flying aircraft. The dimpled ridges on a golf ball help reduce the drag when it's flying through the air, making it go further and faster.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you.
This man wrestled a shark to retrieve his nephew's arm. In 2001 in Florida, a boy named Jesse had his arm bitten off by a shark. His uncle carried him out of the water and gave him heart massages until medical assistance arrived. The uncle then went back into the water and wrestled with the shark until he grabbed it and pulled it to shore. He then pried the shark's jaws open and pulled his nephew's arm out. They kept the boy's arm on ice until it arrived at the hospital, and thankfully they got it there on time and they were able to reattach his arm.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. Being buried alive accidentally occurred so often that people invented safety coffins. In the Middle Ages, people used to eat mummies for medical purposes. It's the main reason we don't have a lot of mummies left today. In the United States, there are more vacant homes than homeless people. Did you know that the actress Glenn Close was raised in a cult? The Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland used to have real skeletons as props. In 1976, a TV crew realized one of the hanging bodies in the Laugh in the Dark ride was indeed a real body by accidentally breaking it. Women in the 18th century used lead as makeup. This is the first chainsaw. It was invented by 2 Scottish doctors. And it was invented for childbirth. Yeah, there's a lot more, like for part 4.
Let me take a picture. Hi, buddy! Educational purposes. There we go.
It's true, doctors love squishing babies into weird objects. If you thought the pigostat looked like a medieval torture device, you haven't seen the octagonal infant mobilizer, or the pedia poser, clearly inspired by Hollywood, or the child hugger, aka the infantainer. Babies and toddlers are not known for staying still more than a couple of seconds, even for Peppa Pig. It's not safe or practical to hold a child during a procedure. Trapping kids so they don't wiggle around might look scary or piss them off, but it saves the healthcare worker and the babies from repeat imaging and excess radiation. You probably did notice, but they have little baby seats. Think of it as a boring stationary roller coaster.
British people have been warned. How do I put this? Flesh-eating lice are biting British swimmers. People have officially been warned to steer clear of seafront lakes in Clevedon and Western Supermare, following reports of swimmers being bitten by something. Now, when you're swimming in one of these places, it is reported that you will feel stings or nips while you're in the water. And once people leave, they are noticing red patches on their body, while others are finding these lice in their swimwear. Yep, new phobia. Now, until freshwater tides flush out the suspecting lice, the Marine Lake Enthusiast Society are advising people to stay out. So yeah, if I didn't already make it clear enough, stay out of these waters. Now send this to literally anyone who you know lives in the UK to warn them because you're a good person. Elon!
In 2014, a man named Martin took this picture of his daughter in Japan. It wasn't until later that he discovered an eerie thing about this photo. When the photo was taken, there was no man standing behind his daughter, yet it appears that there is. Again, if you look closely, you can see a man standing directly behind his daughter. People believe that this is a ghost of a samurai or a World War II soldier. He just happened to catch it on camera while trying to take this cute and innocent photo of his daughter. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you believe that this is real?
Weird ass facts that I know for some reason. If you're allergic to eating shrimp, then you also can't eat cicadas. Male hedgehogs, pleasure themselves the same way that us guys do. So be careful when you pick one up, because that white stuff on their feet is not mayonnaise. Saddam Hussein actually wrote a romantic novel. Platypuses don't have nipples, so they literally just sweat milk. Ducks will have sex with literally anything. Literally anything. Literally anything. On average, cannibals find palms to be the tastiest. Crocodiles gallop, just like a horse does. The thought of this is really scary though, not gonna lie.
Here's a brief lesson on the history of toothpaste. So this morning I was casually brushing my teeth, and then I just had the random thought of, how long did humans go before being able to brush their teeth and have good breath? Well, we know that some ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, the Greeks, and the Romans created a version of toothpaste to be able to clean their teeth and freshen their breath. This version of toothpaste included multiple ingredients, such as powdered shells, ashes from ox hooves, pumice, and there were other versions that included crushed bones and oyster shells. Toothpaste remained pretty unchanged until the 1800s, where people started to use crushed soap, chalk, and charcoal mixed with water, and they would use that to clean their teeth. Soap was actually a very common ingredient in toothpaste until the 1940s. Now, it was by the 1850s where we first started to create a version of toothpaste that resembles the same toothpaste that we use today. A dental surgeon named Washington Wentworth Sheffield created a ready-made toothpaste cream that used mint flavors, and he would use this on his patients. But then his patients started asking him for samples to take home, so he started mass producing it, and that's how toothpaste was distributed. Toothpaste continued to improve over time, and by the early 1900s, fluoride was added as one of the ingredients to prevent tooth decay, and by 1945, soap was completely eliminated from the ingredients. If you like learning about random things like this, follow me for more.
If you see this, you are being watched. Number 1, if you see this, call the police. You are being watched. These are 2 types of coat hangers found in bathrooms and changing rooms. If you see one with 1 hook, it's totally normal, but if you see one with 2, beware. These 2 hook coat hangers record sound and footage at all times. They are actually extremely easy to get. They were meant for homeowners, but that's not the case. Number 2, if you see this, do not touch it. You are being watched. Like any human would do, you go to the parking lot, find your car, unlock it, and start the ignition. But then you see money on your windshield, so you get out of the car and go get it. But right when you did that, you just lost your car, documentaries, and wallet. A criminal placed that money there and was watching you the whole time. But right when you got out of the car to examine the money on your windshield, you probably left your car unlocked and your ignition was still on. This is when a criminal would take action. They would jump in your car and drive off with all your belongings. This is actually a common trick among criminals, so beware.
Not gonna lie, we're gonna have to have an uncomfortable conversation about just how badly humanity managed to gaslight pandas. We always say pandas are only alive through plot armor and pretty privilege, and if they didn't cosplay as a desaturated plush toy, they would have been packed up. But you ever wonder how pandas were doing just fine before us? Here's a science lesson you didn't ask for, but pandas are specialists. That specialty is being an absolute slore for bamboo. The thing with specialists, they live life on a Jenga tower. You take a couple blocks out and the whole population can get ground zero. Like low-key polar bears are specialists, and no one ever brings the panda smoke to an overgrown glacier jockey. But with habitat destruction and low-key fragmentation, that's a bigger deal than you think. Basically handed pandas a problem and whined at the solution. And yeah, we did them egregious in the process. But pandas only eat bamboo. Yeah, and it's so high in protein, they end up getting the same amount as wolves. But they're totally helpless. Well, a panda's a reason that argument has one less leg to stand on than this dude. I don't think anything explains our relationship with pandas more than Ying Ying and Lele. Full story here if you want to watch it. Something, click the blank in the blank, you know where to go. But Ying and Li were 2 pandas in a Hong Kong zoo that people basically tried to set up for 10 years, but like a Mormon couple, they would not touch each other. 10 years of no play, yet only a couple months after the pandemic closed them to the public, the pandas started freaking on each other. Whole time we thought they were bad at mating when really all they ever needed was a vanity curtain. In fact, pandas have a similar reproductive rate to American black bears, and they're basically overweight raccoons. But yeah, we did pandas filth, me included, the more you know.
I've seen my fair share of cults, and this one is pretty weird. This cult calls themselves the Cult of Mother God, and it's run by this woman here, Amy Carlson. She calls herself Mother God, creator of the universe, and she pretty much believed that she was being controlled by the spirit of Robin Williams himself, and not only him, but she could also channel information from other celebrities who weren't alive and even were alive, Donald Trump, but yeah, like Steve Irwin, Carrie Fisher, MJ. With everything in her, she believed that all this advice she was giving people was coming from Robin Williams himself. Her parents claimed she was a straight-A student, and sometime between 2000 to 2007, she meets a man named White Eagle as she was frequenting a website called lightworkers.org. She She's pretty much convinced she's a divine being by this man, and she leaves her husband, her job, and kids, moves to Colorado with this cult. They'd start posting in 2009 and would call themselves the Galactic Foundation of the Light. Amy's health starts declining very badly to where she starts losing weight. She's down to 103 pounds. And this cult believes that Robin Williams is going to come down in a spaceship and pick her up. She can't weigh over 103, and she's going to ascend. Her health continues to decline, and Robin Williamson is nowhere to be found. He doesn't show up in his spaceship. So this group spends about 12 days with her body. I forgot to mention, but she was last seen alive on April 10th of 2021. But yeah, police would eventually break in and find Amy's body, her face covered in glitter, body in a sleeping bag, wrapped in Christmas lights. Kind of like a shrine, they called it.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 64. The original Wizard of Oz is actually considered a cursed movie because of all the horrific things that happened during filming, so let's go through a few of them. First up, the main character who played Dorothy, Judy Garland, was actually drugged and molested during filming. She was given adrenaline shots so she can stay up for sometimes more than 48 hours in a row. And there was also reports that she was molested and sexually harassed by both the Munchkin actors and studio executives. The actress that played the Wicked Witch actually got horrifically burned on set. During the scene when the Wicked Witch escapes Munchkinland in a plume of smoke, the pyrotechnics team accidentally set off the explosion a little too early, which caused the actress's broom, hat, and makeup to catch on fire. Medics had to use alcohol to remove her toxic makeup, which was extremely painful because of her burns. And the fake snow they used in the movie was made with asbestos, which causes cancer. Pretty cool.
What would you see if you had no eyes? The short answer is nothing. You wouldn't see anything, not even black or darkness, literally nothing. But what does that mean? The ability to see would no longer be possible, so this question is sorta impossible to answer. But there are some analogies we can use that can help wrap our brains around it. One, for example, is like trying to see out of your elbow. Go, do it right now. Or try looking out of the back of your head. You just can't. Another one is picture what you were seeing before you were born. Not exactly helpful, but I've got a better one for you. Even people that have been blind from birth or born with no eyes can't really fully answer it either. How can you ask them, what do you see, if they have no concept of what the experience of seeing is even like? Some people who lose their vision later on in life do claim to see darkness just because they have first-hand experience of what seeing feels like. Other than sight, we have 4 other basic senses: touch, hearing, smell, and taste. Now imagine some alien species has a 6th sense called, I don't know, glurking, which they did out of like an antenna or something. That alien asks you, so what do you even glurk if you don't have an antenna? You can't answer that question because you don't even know what the sensation of glurking feels like. This entire question is a mind game, similar to trying to visualize infinity. The best way to try to simulate it yourself is to close just one eye and look away from the closed eye. You don't really fully see darkness until you close both eyes, so while doing this, try to focus on what the closed eye is seeing. Your open eye is hogging all of your brain's seeing processing power, and your closed eye just kinda doesn't see at all. I mean, if you're stubborn and try really hard, you might be able to convince yourself that your closed eye is actually seeing darkness, but this is really the best we can do if you want to know.
This found footage horror movie is absolutely crazy, and you probably haven't seen it yet because it literally just came out. The movie MindBody Spirit is supposed to be a video that was found on the dark web, and it was filmed by this woman Anya, who's a yoga influencer. And the entire movie is seen through her camera as she's filming her videos. But when Anya moves into her dead grandmother's house, she finds this mysterious book of rituals that her grandmother wrote for her. And not to spoil anything, but what happens next is genuinely terrifying. This is definitely one of the best horror movies to come out this year. And if you pay attention throughout the movie, you can see creepy things like hidden in the background. If I had to give one criticism, since this movie is framed as an online video, there's ads throughout the movie that's supposed to be a part of the movie, if that makes sense. And in my personal opinion, I found these ads a little bit distracting. Even though it's a unique concept, I just didn't think it worked with the tone of the rest of the movie. But honestly, at the end of the day, I just really enjoy horror movies where you get to see one character slowly go insane. So if you like found footage horror movies, you'll probably really like this one too. But like always, let me know what you thought and follow for more.
Here's why you are related to everyone else on Earth. According to a 2004 study, everyone in the world descended from a person who lived 3,500 years ago. By using a computer model, researchers at MIT attempted to trace back our most recent common ancestor by using estimated patterns of migration throughout history. They have worked out that the most recent common ancestor of all 7 billion people alive today probably dwelt in Eastern Asia around 1415 BC. The researchers said, no matter the languages we speak or the colour of our skin, we all share ancestors who planted rice on the banks of Yangtze, domesticated horses on the steppes of Ukraine, hunted giant sloths in North and South America, and who laboured to build the Great Pyramids of Khufu. Now tag 2 friends to blow their mind.